Interesting. Keyshawn, who's more likely to start for the Niners at quarterback next season? If I'm giving you the options of Tom Brady, Brock Purdy, or Trey Lance.
It'll be Tom Brady. If I had to bet my right arm on this situation, it's Tom Brady. It makes all the sense in the world. You start off one, Molly, by saying he's from San Mateo, California, which is right up the road from Santa Clara. He is a kid that was raised in the area who adored the San Francisco 49ers in Joe Montana growing up. He's always eyed the San Francisco 49ers in the right situation. And on top of that, you think about Brock Purdy's injury, 6 months with the UCL injury on the elbow, whether it's surgery or not. Trey Lance, yes, he'll be ready for OTAs, but do we know anything about Trey Lance? I don't think Trey Lance will be moved on to Tennessee via trade because you still got him on his rookie deal. You still got Brock Purdy on his rookie deal. One of the two, if not both, can be Brady's backup. All you're asking Brady to do is do something very, very similar to what he did in Tampa Bay his first year. You got Christian McCaffrey, a running game. You got Deebo Samuel, run and a pass game. By the way, Christian McCaffrey can catch the ball out of the backfield. And then you got Ayuk. Maybe you draft another receiver. You still got Jennings. But you got a key at the tight end position, right? Much like Tom Brady's always had his entire career, whether it was in New England or whether it was in Tampa Bay, he had somebody named Gronkowski. Now, Kittle's not too far away from Gronkowski. I think Tom Brady would like that. Then you got a defensive football team that's not getting any younger, getting a little bit older, right? You got Warner, you got Armstead, you got Bosa. You also want to capitalize on a young secondary that's only going to grow. So it's like him leaving New England and going to Tampa. You got a coach who knows how to dial it up. You're not asking Tom Brady to win games. All you're asking him to do is do better than Jimmy Garoppolo, do better than Brock Purdy, which with a left tackle like Trent Williams to protect your blind side, an offensive line that's stacked solid, you got a match made in heaven. And you know Brady's not going to ask. He's not going to ask for a lot of money. He was playing for $25 million in Tampa. So the money's not going to be an issue. You clear the books with Jimmy Garoppolo. You essentially hand that money to Tom Brady with the salary cap going up to $225 million. So they say out there reported that that's around the number it's going to be. So there's no money issues. You don't have to give up draft picks. You traded a haul to get Trey Lance. You're not going to get that same haul back. So why would you all of a sudden throw in the towel on Trey Lance instead of letting him learn under Brady? And once Brady walks out in 18, 24 months, so to speak, now you battle it out with a healthy Brock Purdy and a healthy Trey Lance. That's why I think that this is match made in heaven. John Lynch is not stupid, and neither is Kyle Shanahan.
Well, none of them are stupid, and your analysis there was nothing short of brilliant. I get where you're coming from. I was inclined to disagree with you and go with Brock Purdy, but I didn't know that he was going to be out for the next 6 months until late last night. That was after, obviously I took the position that I took. My answer was going to be Brock Purdy because he was undefeated. He's young. He's a part of the system. You retain Trey Lance, and if you're going to go out and get anybody, you don't go out and get some dude for 1 year in Tom Brady. You go out and get some dude like Aaron Rodgers, even though you would have to trade for him and give up assets in order to acquire him, whereas that would not be the case for Tom Brady. Now, Keyshawn, I don't know if you know this, but you know what I mean. Tom Brady has become one of my new buddies. I was actually on the Let's Go podcast with him and Jim Gray. It's out on audio now. It'll be on video later. Tom Brady called me and wanted to talk to me yesterday, Keyshawn. I couldn't believe it. So, I mean, that is what happened. Molly, don't be too jealous.
Give me one question he asked you. I want to hear one question Tom Brady asked you.
Well, he just talked to me about my career and how.
Give me a question. I didn't ask for a summary. One question that Tom Brady asked Stephen A.
He asked me, about my work ethic and how is it that I know everything that I know. I have time to watch all of these things. That's what he asked. Now, obviously, I don't know as much as him and Keyshawn and all of these other football aficionados that I cover, but damn it, I ain't supposed to. I'm not one of these ignorant analysts, that's a reporter trying to act like I was on the damn field or in the locker room. No, I didn't play. They played, so I know my place.
We just took a hard left turn.
This is why I'm so loved. But the point that I'm trying to make to to you is that I'm inclined to believe to go against the Tom Brady thing, Keyshawn, because I don't know if he'll come back. Now, in fairness to him, we didn't talk about that yesterday because he was interviewing me. I wasn't interviewing him. We didn't talk about that. But I would tell you that I'm inclined to believe that he ain't going to come back for just one more year to play with somebody. If he gonna come back, it's gonna be for a couple of years, and I just don't see that guy playing a couple of more years until he's 47 years of age. I don't view it that way, which is why I lean towards Brock Purdy. But with Brock Purdy being out for the next 6 months, that's a different argument, and I have to confess, it's a really poignant moment. I am in no position to argue with what Keyshawn has said because Brock Purdy's out for the next 6 months.
But you do know, Stephen A. have covering this stuff for as long as you have with professional athletes, Hall of Famers, the greatest of all times, whether it's Michael Jordan or whether it's Tom Brady. What is it that they starve for? Competition. And if somebody like Kyle Shanahan is sitting in your living room, and John Lynch is sitting in your living room, and Kristen McCaffrey and Kettle and Trent Williams is sitting in your living room telling you, come to us, baby. We're going to take care of you. You're going to be able to live a dream. Your family's up the road in San Mateo. Your mom, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, your uncles, your cousins, everybody could be here to see you play. You've always wanted to be a 49er. That's hard to run from. It's hard to run from when you have a football athletic disease that you don't want to get rid of. Now, you say you can't see him doing it 1 year. Well, maybe he doesn't do it 1. Maybe he does it 2 because he's upright. He's not getting hit upside his head. He can get rid of the football fast. He's in a different system. He had a bad experience. Then he could still play. If he couldn't play and he had that bad experience, if he was Peyton Manning at the end, like in Denver, you walk away. Tom Brady can still play.
He could still ball. There's no question about it. I have no doubt about that. I will tell you this. To me, the biggest argument, even beyond everything that you said, the biggest argument is how he ended this season. The fact of the matter is, it's pretty hard for a champion, let alone a 7-time champion.
Absolutely.
Brock Purdy, who has a really serious injury, and it's going to be hard to know the injury timeline for a while because of all the unknowns there. Tom Brady, who I understand the appeal there, but would have to sign a very team-friendly deal to fit under the Niners cap, and they've got a ton of free agents, only 35 guys signed next year. It's possible. I'm just saying he would have to take a lot less money than he usually does. Or Trey Lance, who's, the top draft pick. They traded away multiple first-rounders for, who's on the roster and will actually be healthy. So I'm going to pick Lance, not because I think it's necessarily what they should do or even what people in San Francisco want to do, but it seems the most plausible of the three because of health, cap space, and the amount of investment they've already sunk into him.
Well, wait a minute, Mina. It's lovely to see you this morning, by the way. But you don't get away with that. You don't just drop that and just move on. What do you mean it's not what exactly you'd prefer? Well, what is it that you would prefer, Mina? Who would you prefer to see as the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers? You just drop that and then run away from it and go and move on from the subject. Who is it?
It was most likely. Okay. I think ideally, if you're a Niners fan, after watching this team that was clearly a Super Bowl roster, failed because of the lack of quarterback, and seeing your quarterback suffer through so many injuries, you would probably want Brady, who has, of course, been relatively durable as the greatest of all time, but you'd have to get him to sign a very team-friendly deal to do so. That's what I think if I was a Niners fan, that's what I would want.
Absolutely, that's what you want. And that's what the San Francisco 49ers front office wants, too. We just don't know about it yet. The reason I think, though, in this situation, Brady makes all the sense in the world. Let's start with the money part of it. He's not making much money relatively to the quarterbacks in the National Football League. So he doesn't, money's not, let's not even worry about the money. That's an easy deal. We can figure that out. We can fit it in a million different ways.
Right.
We can give you major incentives if you get us to the Super Bowl. Geographically, there's family, there's all that. Childhood, always wanted to be Joe Montana, childhood favorite quarterback. I got an opportunity to finally wear the gold helmet. On top of that, what is it, Mina, when he left the New England Patriots that he was seeking so badly, a team that was complete? He grabbed Gronkowski. He had a conversation with Leonard Fournette. Well, you don't need the Gronkowski now because you got Kittle. You don't need Leonard Fournette because we got CMC. We got a left tackle that's the best in the game in Big Trent Williams. We got a defense with Bosa and all the crew back there on that side of the ball that we know what that is. All I got to come in and do is pull the cake out of the oven. Everything else is already there for me. I'm in a perfect situation to be not only arguably the best quarterback ever, because I could just be like LeBron James. I can go from team to team to team and win championships and put them on my back. They're not asking me to throw 50 times a game. What they're asking me to do is be very, very efficient, something I've always done, not turn the ball over. I'm not worried about running RPOs and things of that nature because that's never been my game. I got an offensive, innovative coach that understands, hey, he had a statue in Matt Ryan in Atlanta, so he doesn't necessarily need to go the Jalen route or the Lance route. But on top of that, it allows Purdy to get healthy. It also allows Trey Lance to learn, again, under a veteran quarterback who is arguably the best to ever do it. And then you worry about Purdy and Trey Lance a year or two from now as they're on their rookie deals to battle it out. Even though you've already given away all those picks for Trey Lance, you got Tom Brady winning you a championship. And as far as Brady goes, as I told Stephen A., and I'll continue to say this, players like this, they have a disease to play sport. They don't have anything else to do. I know every year we talk about, oh, we can go do this, he can go join the booth. That's not what he wants to do. He's affected by winning championships. That's why he's still on the fence on whether or not to play. You roll Joe Montana in that meeting. You put John Lynch in that meeting, Kyle Shanahan, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Kittle. You get them dudes to convince him, come ride with us for 1 year, man. Just ride with us. We're going to get it done.
Well, it's a very compelling argument. I don't think anybody could disagree with you based on the three quarterbacks that we're talking about, particularly with Purdy being injured, with Trey Lance struggling early before he got hurt. We got to remember that as well. And here's the key point that we have to bring up. We have an obligation to bring this up. Kyle Shanahan has proven to be an absolutely fantastic coach. He don't have a Super Bowl championship yet. John Lynch is proven to be a fabulous executive, to be honest with you. He don't have a championship yet. This is a championship roster. We all know it. They've been knocking on the door pretty much for the last 2-3 years, and they haven't closed the deal. And so now that we see it from that 4 years, actually, so now that we see it from that vantage point, it's not like job security or job safety is on the line. No, Shanahan and Lynch ain't going nowhere. We're not saying that. What we are saying, however, is that the players ain't the only ones with egos. The players ain't the only one hearing people chirping. And if you're an executive and you're Kyle Shanahan and people are talking about y'all greatness, but y'all know y'all don't have a chip to show for it, that itch has become a bit more pronounced.
Yes.
Especially how you lost to Philly. I felt so sad for them. I mean, listen, there's nobody on earth that should have expected them to do anything. Once that second half rolled around, and you can't even throw the football, and everybody knows it. The team knows it. I mean, Christian McCaffrey was at the quarterback spot. You cannot throw the football because you literally have no more quarterbacks on your roster. I would advise the San Francisco 49ers after this experience to keep every damn quarterback, plus go out and get Tom Brady. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.